such a great job here, and RSG really getting punished for that Alucard pick.
Looking at Sunset Lover, this might have been his best game. Well, this is his best game in the M2 World Championships. And you know what? That Veil just controlled everyone from the side of RSG.
Yeah.
It was like they were moving in a way that they wanted to always put the Veil in the equation.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, the design of the composition also entails that they just wanted to fight. They wanted to team fight, and they wanted to team fight really hard. I mean, the Alice wombo combos, they've got the Veil to suck them all in, they've got the Grok just to get that initiation going. Ooh, so many things.
So many things. And a lot of these ultimates coming out from Jawhead was used against Sunset Lover. There was a time there, I think it was like probably 5 minutes, where the Jawhead just kept on going. ZP went straight for that Veil, and he couldn't do anything. And there were times that they were successful. There were times that they were not.
Yeah, really, it was a tough game. But with that being said, make sure that you guys at home can catch the live streams of the mega event Mobile Legends BangBang M2 World Championship 2020 held in Singapore's Shangri-La Hotel for free on MeWatch from the 18th to 24th of January. A total of 12 teams from 9 countries, including RSG and EVOS SG, like you are watching right now, from Singapore, are competing for 300,000 USD. And I know they just lost the game, but you got to support them. Support Team SG in the group stage.
Yes. And you know what? We need to support our analysts as well. So, Wolf, pack leader, what do you have for us?
Gotta admit, I was surprised about that transition, but I was even more surprised about this Alucard pick and no ban strategy, I guess. But then, definitely speaking, I think this is a surprise to everyone. But not only that, Unique Deus Volt just said, okay, enough of surprises. Let's look at how to actually play a Mobile Legends match. My name is Wolf. I'm gonna be talking about the analysis of game number 2, where the Russians have won against RSG and forcing a game number 3 for the first time today, the M2 World Championship. Now, it's important to take note that the Harith was one of the priorities for RSG, and it made a lot of sense. One of the strongest heroes out there. You can play it in almost any kind of position, even in the XP lane. Perhaps not the tank role, but almost all of the other 4 positions you can play him. And in this time, it is one of the strongest heroes out there in the meta. But the answer from UDV, which I really love, is that they used their knockups to their advantage. Using the Grok as well as this Veil, which is almost unlimited from any kind of range. There's so much reach on the side of UDV that's incredibly hard for RSG to get away from them. Not only that, they also ported in and deployed this Alice, which is a natural counter to the Harith from the olden days, because you get the flicker, you get the instant stun from the Blood Ode, and you also have an incredible amount of reach. Now, RSG, I like their idea. They kind of went in to go for a chase kind of lineup. They want to close the gap. They want to get to the backlines with this Yuzong. It's wonderful. You also have this Alucard in a way that we want to go to the backlines as well as the Jawhead, but it wasn't enough because there's just so much poke potential coming out from UDV in this particular game, and then they used it in their advantage. I love the fact that the knockups from the Veil as well as the Grok was used in perfect execution against this run at you draft coming out from RSG. Looking at the items, obviously RSG are not getting the most out of this Alucard, and you know what they say, sometimes people, when they draft these weird out of the meta picks, you try to make the most sense out of it. You try to justify its pick on how Jason on this Alucard can chase down the backlines of UDV, but the biggest problem here is with his gap closing tools, he first needs to attack heroes. He needs to of the lineup of UDV, and you cannot do that because of the amount of anti-gap closers from UDV. And what are those tools? Again, the knockups or those instant stuns from the Alice, and obviously the dashes or the mobility coming out of the Benedetta as well as the Yi Shin. And all of these anti-pursuit type of lineups from UDV just made wonders against Jason. And looking at the items of UDV, I like this a lot. The Sky Guardian helmet coming out from the Grok. He knew that he is participating so much in the team fights and that his regeneration will be perfect against a non-burst type of lineup from RSG. And then you now go for some sort of dueling potential from UDV to go with late game bursts coming out from the Clock of Destiny, the Truncheon, all the jazz coming out from the magic damage of UDV. Now, what I really love about their development all throughout the M2 World Championship is that they are now mixing up the physical and damage output, unlike in their previous games. Normally, the last 3 matches of UDV, they just focused on 1 mage, 4 physical damage dealers. This time, they put in a lot of magic damage to kind of mitigate their damage output. Now, 6, 1, and 8. 1 assist short of a legendary performance from this Veil user, Sunset Lover. Love it, scarf, by the way. And he really put his team in a winning position in this particular match. They only was caught once, and for the entirety of the match, just making it so that the Jawhead will not have a good time. Him, in combination with the Grok player in this particular game, they stopped the progression of this Alucard. They made it hell for that Jason Alucard in this particular game. I can't imagine anybody in his position to championship where unfortunately for RSG, they will have to win this in 2-1, or will it be a Unique Deus Volt victory finally? That's what they wanted to do. They will only play 2 best-of-3 series. Both of them actually will be playing only 2 best-of-3 series, and you don't want to be on the losing side because now, again, you will want that slot in the playoffs for sure. Again, that has been the 1-1 result for both of these teams, and I'm excited to see game number 3. But before that, why don't we go into a very short break as we prepare for game number 3. See you after this.
Chivalry is dead. I will revive it. I've got a bullet with your name on it. Sir.
Download for free. Mobile Legends BangBang.
As my
Mind the whole game.
Well, I do think that regardless of that, the momentum is there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Unique it might be one of those teams that really need that first win to get to get the ball rolling before really starting to ramp up the gears.
Yeah, and clearly just knowing how you should, thread into game number 3. I think Unique Devo, they have this, let's say, idea of what to do now. Like, they need to control people. At least the Hanzo isn't there anymore to annoy them. The Alucard was supposed to be a surprise pick. Like, nobody would really study against them. But it didn't really work. For Hanzo, it did. For Alucard, it did. So sometimes the creativity coming out from RSG, I think, is a hit or miss.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that.
Yeah. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, just because of the team's other picks, it just, falls down to the ground and burns.
Yeah, it did crash and burn here, but I think, you know, at the very end of the day, at least there's a game 3. There is like that moment, okay, we were up a game, now we can at least redeem ourselves. So this didn't work out, so we can go back to standard stuff. Maybe. I think that's what RSG is going to do.
Would you bet your life on it that RSG would go back to a traditional setup?
I think at this point, there's no reason not to. Because again, this is the group stage. You want to end up on top, you know? You don't want to be in the middle of the pack.
But we will know now since we are in the draft. This is game number 3. Whatever happens here, there is only one who's going to win, one who's going to take the point, and you know what? You want to be on the receiving side of that point for your group.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the draft is already started. We're seeing the Yishin Shin as well as the Brody coming out of Unique Deus Volt, as well as RSG banning out the Natalia as well as the Selena.
Then again, Brody and Yishin Shin is kind of like templated for Unique Deus Volt. It's kind of like their template. For RSG, they just don't like the Selena, they don't like the Natalia. I think this is templated towards Unique Deus Volt as well.
Yeah, I mean...
There's no ban again? For...
No. There was ban. It was the Matilda. It was the Matilda here, and the Benedette. Wait a minute. Esmeralda's up on the table. Esmeralda is free. And does Unique want to take this? Do they want to bite onto it, or is this some kind of bait that RSG has laid out for them?
Yeah, I think it's a bait because you know what? When Unique Deus Volt goes for the first pick, they always go for the Jawhead. Now you give them 2 options. Will we go for the Esmeralda or will we go for the Jawhead? I mean, regardless, RSG is gonna get one of those 2.
I would agree, but like Esmeralda is just the better pick in so many of these situations. Like, yes, we do see Jawhead being really, really effective, but you know, the fact that the smart missiles, it generates a shield already puts him at a disadvantage. No matter how much CC and how much burst that you put into an Esmeralda, as long as there's just even a little bit of a shield, that can be enough to turn the tides. So RSG going to be locking in the Yuzong as well as the Lo Yi.
Those are strong picks indeed, and right now, Lil and Sawok, they can go for their picks or they can secure, let's say, a jungler at this point. They could do that.
What junglers are up on the table?
A Lance,
a
Ling.
They have a Lance, Ling, they can go for Hayabusa. Oh, they can still go for the Jawhead. Oh, they do have Lapu Lapu in their arsenal. Okay, that's a really, really good sign here because right now, Unique Deus Volt are looking really, really nice. I almost thought that the announcer said Harith, and then Alice popped out. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Alice. It's going to be an Alice. You know what, Gideon? The thing about this certain setup that RSG did is they're pointing at a lot of team fights.
Oh, yeah.
You have the Alice, you have the Yuzhong, and Louis is there just to create a bit of a, you know, diversion, if you get what I mean.
Yep.
But now for RSG, I think they really have to go for an assassin setup on the jungler side.
An assassin setup. I think they could.
Make more sense to me if they go for a Lance or a Ling at this point.
Yeah, I think definitely I think Lancelot would be a lot more ideal. But who on RSG would be playing it? Would Jason be playing the Lancelot? Most likely, considering that LY4 is the one that locked in. I mean, they could switch this over. They could switch it over later on, but you know, a lot of assumptions here. But let's see. It's going to be the Ling ban coming in from Unique. Very smart. They have a good idea of what they want to get rid of. RSG probably going to be looking to ban out the Farsa as well. I mean, Eudora was already banned out, so why not?
I'm thinking maybe Unique Deus Volt wants to go for a 1-1.
Your team is out.
Just because they banned out the Ling.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
I'm thinking maybe they don't want that annoying assassin just heading towards the 1-1 or whatever marksman they're aiming to pick.
Possibly, and I think it might be it might be even better for Unique to pick it up just to deny RSG the 1-1 pick in general, because I mean, look at Lapu Lapu as well as Jawhead, both of which don't have a great laning phase at all against 1-1. And even when Jawhead wants to hit level 4 and have that kind of kill pressure, at least 1-1 has a form of counterplay.
Now we are going to see a Lancelot ban, and that was a very good read coming up from Unique Deus Volt. And right now RSG, they are forced to go for a Roger.
Yep. I mean, RSG very comfortable with Roger. We've seen them in MYSG. They've done it before. LY4 plays an okay Roger. It's not as good as his Yishin, of course, but you know, as long as he plays the traditional marksman style, farm hard, carry harder.
Okay, so I'm thinking Roger is a good pick. Well, Roger is a good pick for this certain situation just because there is the Lapu, there is the Esmeralda, and the Jawhead, and these heroes have high HP bars. And you know what? If he has the wolf form up, he deals more damage based on the HP lost by that certain hero. So
Yeah.
you can expect a lot of jumps coming in for the Roger by the time they reach level 5. But right now, taking a page out of RSG's book, Hanzo.
This is dirty. This is really, really dirty here because again, RSG, they could have flexed the Roger if they wanted to. It is just.
They have RSG now has ways to jump on that Hanzo in the jungle. To be completely honest with you, like the Alice is there, flowing blood is all it takes. Let's say Roger, King of Invade. So they would have, let's say, less of a problem than Unique Deus Volt had at game number 1.
I would. Okay, all right, yeah. That makes a lot more sense because at least they are able to kind of like push them away at level 1 rather than oh no, I try to do something and the buff's gone.
But then again, you know what? Game number 1, it was an invisible enemy. Like, what can the Jawhead do if the Jawhead doesn't have the means to actually reach the the body of the Hanzo and just go for the spearhead time and again? You're not gonna make the most out of your ejectors. You're not gonna make the most out of your unstoppable forces.
Well, I definitely think it was just, you know, a priority target situation that should have been done since the beginning of the game. But let's see how they're gonna play this out because now it's Unique's turn to whip out the Hanzo on one shot. So this is gonna be a pretty exciting game.
Okay, so right now you can see Lil going aggressive on. Surprisingly, is on the Alice.
Kind of for going towards the off lane here to kind of just sit and just farm up everything. And NY4 taking quite a bit of damage here. KCP getting that third hit of G could go onto shot. Not ideal, but very unfortunate. And Sunset Lover goes on with him as well. Defender able to find a return kill at the very least, bringing up the score, at least trading 2 for 1.
You know what? There is a saying, by the way, that if you know how to play a certain hero, then you know how to counter a certain hero as well.
Absolutely. No doubt about it at all.
So, right now, RSG is showing their prowess and the know-how on how to counter a Hanzo. 4 of them went straight to the jungle, tried to jump on that Hanzo, and you know what? Hanzo went down.
Yeah, I mean, they're just looking for the punishes more often than they should. A lot of this early pressure, and if they let this game drag on for too long, they're going to get outscaled naturally. So they have to play a little bit more aggressive than they usually. Owl getting hit by literally. Hit by Sana, he gets hit by the third hit of G Kundo, and finally they're able to trade back onto KZP at the very end. So it's going just 1-1.
It's, you know what? It's like Veil keeps opening the curtains with that skill.
Oh!
And gets bursted. Sana just punishing him.
Yeah, and now Sync, he's coming in. Buy some time, but Lil also coming in. He not Dragon. Jason just has to back away. He has place.
They're not one to back down from a good fight. They're very aggressive. They can be aggressive. And right now, Sunset Lover is making these trades worth it again.
Yeah, they are making it so worth it here. So they look to pull on back and all right, with the goal lead that they have, can they push this even further? Because again, RSG, they're trying to be aggressive. Unique has punished them, and once again, Way of the Dragon coming in from KZP, but who can actually get there in time? Sana isn't there, Jason isn't there. So again, it's going to be a Way of the Dragon with no full capitalization.
Defender here having a good time onto the bottom lane. I mean, Lapu Lapu is probably one of the best offlaners that we have right now. Sana goes somewhere and they catch one shot. Oh my goodness, RSG using this diversion to its full potential to take down the enemy jungler.
It just feels like they're playing guerrilla tactics. KZP fighting before he gets chucked back in. Sana, he's playing with in the middle of this fight, but he can't really do too much.
Now, Sunset Lover steal.
Really
that was
great
a good
steal.
That was a pressure. Unique Deus Volt, they won't let that happen. Now, going back to what I was saying, Sunset Lover now. One more.
Beautiful Castus Curse moment.
And don't worry, guys, we're used to it. But yeah, there is a problem for him, and I think he can get through with it. He can get away with those burst downs, to be honest. But for Sync right here, the objective of the Black Dragon form is not to go for, you know, the Hanzo. It is to push back Sunset Lover.
Yeah, it's to keep him out of range,
Yeah.
but I feel like a lot of these times you have to preemptively do it, so his best option is to start looking for that Hanzo, because by the time he gets there, Sunset Lover, oh no, Sana, can he survive this? Oh, he does, but he has been brought down to a very dangerous amount of health. KZP getting a little bit dangerous here as he gets sucked in, but he quickly, a little bit of damage. This fight. And then quickly switch positions.
Now, looking at it, Unique Deus Volt, they're holding their ground. They are holding down the line.
Actually, they're doing even better than that.
Yeah.
They actually have a goal lead here. For the first time, we've seen them actually being able to maintain this goal lead for a solid 6 minutes. And can they push this even more, as Lil is going to be trying to run LY4 down, but he is just absorbing the damage. He is just spell vamping through the pain, taking as much as he can before walking away. And Lil, I don't think he's going to go for the dive, especially when you know you're up against an Alice. But down on bot side, the Sync is going to try and get on out of there. His passive is up and running, but it's not going to be enough, especially against Defender. Defender's doing a great job.
Now, clearly, Sunset Lover is the target here for KZP.
Uh-oh.
But there's a diversion. They go in. Roger goes wild. Oh my goodness. Sao here's the next target. Will he go down? KZP here gets ejected. But that won't be enough to take him down. That is a 3-0, favoring the side of RSG.
Yeah, Sana just absolutely crushing it. That was so much AoE damage in such a short span of time. Can he get it off again? Nah, Lil's very, very tanky for this situation, and she does not want to do anything about it, but he has to stop LY4 and the amount of pressure he's putting out. But Defender winning out this 1v1 against Sing. Is he going to get solo killed here? Defender wins it out finally against Sync, but RSG looking to invade and steal away the purple.
So that, you know,
I mean, it's now that we know that Defender is capable of playing the Lapu Lapu, it makes me kind of question why they didn't bring it out sooner. But hey, who am I to were especially smart, but it's unfortunate because Defender didn't really get to show his stuff until now.
Oh, this is a great position. If Sunset Lover moves in, he's gonna go down, and I think he's down. And we did have a bit of a change in terms of camera.
Nah, the Observer, he knew what was going on. It was a horror movie for him.
Yeah.
He didn't want to watch it. It was just too horrifying.
Yeah, you know what? Take the camera away. It's too violent.
My soft eyes can't take it, but Lil is taking so much. He literally absorbed all of that damage. And he didn't even take a scratch. He's already back up to full. And once again, he's going to be crushing Sick under that pressure, right under the turret. And now KZP, he doesn't have Wave of the Dragon, but Lil doesn't even care.
Lil here is the to get him, but made on Sunset Lover didn't really work just because Purify is available for Sunset Lover. So even though you do that, you're actually putting a lot of danger just to get bursted because you're gonna use Shunpo, you're gonna use Jeet Kune Do, Wave of the Dragon. Then what do you only have? What do you have next? You only have one more Shunpo. Will that be enough if it's put in the center when the ultimate is put in the center of you know, the show?
Yeah, that's why we've seen KZP almost every single time have to use his flicker as soon as he gets caught in the middle of Veil ult. So he's especially careful, but he has to play for these cooldowns here. And oh, Sawo once again, he's able to take the damage. He finally has been able to buy some magic resist, but Sana once again having that Purify is not going to be enough for now, as the rest of the team is going to collapse under him. Defender making the play, jumping right on top. Sync looking for any options to take this Lord away. Defender, the next to fall. Sync 2v1ing in the backline while LY4 is trying to get towards him. Sawo ejectors him away, but the Flowing Bud allowing LY4 to get to that backline. He's going for like a 3-for-2 trade. Not out any further than this, but he does have the Soul of Lava. Sync needs to get away, but he cannot. It's an even trade, 3-for-3.
And he by close, well, probably a cloth. Well, it should be a cloth, but it's part of his it's part of Esmeralda's clothes as well. So you know what, when that was happening, a push was actually, you know, happening atop by the minions, and they get the turret. So right now it's not a total loss for RSG.
Not a total loss, but considering that Unique are still ahead, at least RSG have score. KZP playing with
invades that come in. RSG, they're
yeah. Eventually it has to stop, right? Eventually Unique will get to punish this, and Lil low brush as they make that rotation. An interesting deeper to catch somebody off, but it looks like Sawo getting caught by himself. Top of Sunset Lover. This is huge. This could be the play. And even with the Winter Truncheon, it's not enough. One shot, unable to finish off Sana in the backline. KCP looking to catch up. Defender. Sync. And they're get caught right now.
Oh my goodness, that fight was people. Vo one shot there was the perfect target for Sync. He just used that execute perfectly, and they got hold of the jungler. But then again, clutches of that Yuzhong.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. And I mean, honestly, like RSG had a really good engagement. They went on from the back as the and with the help of Jason, defender in due time.
You know what? If LY4 had that could have been that RSG is trying to find. But you know what? They need, well, for Unique Devo, they really need to look out for their surroundings as well. They could not find